The breaking storm. The gravitational wave detector beneath the Atacama Desert wasn't supposed to detect anything beyond cosmic events, the collisions of black holes, the death throes of neutron stars. So when Dr. Maya Rodriguez received the alert at 3:47 a.m. Chilean time, she assumed it was a calibration error. The wave patterns scrolling across her holoscreen showed something massive, organized, and impossible. A fleet of objects decelerating from relativistic speeds at the edge of the solar system. Maya's fingers flew across the haptic interface, cross-referencing the data with every other detection system in the southern hemisphere. The European Gravity Wave Observatory confirmed it seconds later, followed by the Chinese array. This was no error. Computer, call Director Vega. Priority 1. The aged director of the Atacama Observatory answered on the third ring, his silver hair disheveled from sleep. Maya, what's wrong? Sir, you need to see this. She shared her screen, watching his eyes widen as he processed the data. These aren't natural objects. The deceleration patterns are too precise, too coordinated. We're looking at artificial gravity manipulation on a massive scale. Director Vega was silent for a long moment, his scientific skepticism warring with the evidence before him. How many? At least 300 distinct objects, ranging from destroyer to dreadnought size, if we're using naval analogies. They're arranged in a perfect defensive sphere. Sir, this is a fleet. The word hung heavy in the air between them. Humanity had debated the existence of alien life for centuries, but first contact had always been theoretical. Now theory was becoming reality, and reality was armed to the teeth. Have they detected that we've spotted them? Maya shook her head. I don't think so. The gravity wave detection is passive. We're just picking up ripples from their drives. But sir, there's something else you should see. She pulled up another data set, this one from her other project at the Solar Energy Research Institute. For the past 5 years, she'd been developing new ways to contain and manipulate solar plasma, hoping to create more efficient fusion reactors. The gravity distortions from the alien fleet were creating unexpected patterns in her test chamber. The aliens' drive signatures, they're affecting our plasma containment fields, but not disrupting them, enhancing them. It's as if their technology operates on similar principles to my containment research. Director Vega leaned closer to his screen. Are you saying we might have accidentally developed technology compatible with theirs? Maybe. Or maybe we've developed something they never expected us to have. Maya's mind was already racing ahead, seeing possibilities she'd never considered before. Sir, I need authorization to link the gravity wave data directly to the plasma containment facility, and we need to contact the Defense Council immediately. The next 12 hours passed in a blur of emergency meetings, classified briefings, and frantic calculations. As word spread through the world's scientific and military communities, humanity began to mobilize. The alien fleet's trajectory was clear. They were headed directly for Earth, decelerating to arrive in approximately 72 hours. Maya found herself at the center of it all, trying to explain her plasma containment technology to a room full of generals and politicians who barely understood basic physics. Her system used magnetic fields and precise gravity pulses to contain and manipulate solar plasma, creating a stable environment for fusion reactions. But now, with the alien fleet approaching, she saw its potential as something else entirely. If we can scale up the containment fields, she explained, pointing to the simulations running behind her, we might be able to create a defensive screen using solar plasma itself. The aliens' drive signatures suggest their ships generate similar gravitational fields. There's a chance our system could interact with their technology in ways they're not prepared for. General Laura Chen of the United Earth Defense Force stood at the window of the hastily assembled command center, her weathered face reflecting in the reinforced glass. How quickly can you scale up this containment system, Dr. Rodriguez? With unlimited resources and global cooperation. Maybe 48 hours for a prototype, but that's pushing the boundaries of what's theoretically possible. You have 36 hours, Chen replied, turning to face her. And everything you need. The Chinese space elevator is being retooled to deliver materials to orbit. The Europeans are redirecting their entire satellite network. India's fusion research team is standing by to assist. Maya felt the weight of billions of lives settling onto her shoulders. Her containment technology had been designed to power cities, not defend planets. But as she looked at the holographic display showing the approaching alien fleet, she knew they had no choice. "There's something else," she said, pulling up the latest data. "The fleet's deceleration pattern changed 8 minutes ago. They know we've detected them." As if in response to her words, every screen in the command center flickered. A signal, transmitted simultaneously to every broadcasting station and digital device on Earth, burst through humanity's communications networks. The message was simple, delivered in perfect English. "Your species has been judged and found wanting. Surrender now and accept stewardship, or face extinction. You have 24 hours to respond." The command center erupted in chaos, but Maya barely heard it. Her eyes were fixed on her containment field readings. The alien transmission had created ripples in the plasma, patterns that shouldn't be possible unless... "General Chen," she called out, her voice cutting through the noise. "I know why they're really here. And I know how we can stop them." The next day was a blur of activity unlike anything in human history. As Maya explained her theory to the world's leaders, a plan began to take shape. The aliens weren't just using gravity drives. They were using contained plasma technology similar to hers, but on a massive scale. Their ships were essentially artificial stars, compressed and controlled for power and propulsion. But Maya's containment system worked differently. While the aliens used brute force to compress and control their plasma, her system worked in harmony with the plasma's natural properties. It was less powerful, but far more stable and precise. And if she was right, it could be used to disrupt their ship's power systems. Around the world, fusion reactors were repurposed. Space stations were retrofitted. A global network of plasma containment satellites began taking shape in orbit, each one carefully tuned to Maya's specifications. It was an engineering project that should have taken years, compressed into hours by the combined will and desperation of humanity. Maya worked until her vision blurred, checking and rechecking calculations, directing teams across the globe, and praying she wasn't about to get everyone killed. The aliens' deadline approached with terrifying speed, bringing with it the weight of the greatest gamble in human history. As the 24-hour mark neared, Maya stood in the orbital command center, newly constructed aboard the International Space Station. Through the reinforced windows, she could see the first elements of Earth's defensive network gleaming in the sunlight. Dozens of plasma containment satellites, rushed to completion by the combined efforts of every spacefaring nation, hung in precise formation. "Final diagnostic complete," reported Dr. Yuki Tanaka, her colleague from Japan's fusion program. "All containment fields are stable, ready to initiate on your command." Maya nodded, her throat dry. She turned to General Chen, who had insisted on commanding the defense from orbit. "If this works, it should create a resonance cascade through their entire fleet. Their plasma containment systems will destabilize, forcing them to either retreat or risk their ships tearing themselves apart." "And if it doesn't work?" Chen asked quietly. "Then humanity goes down fighting." Maya checked the countdown clock. 5 minutes until the aliens' deadline. "At least we'll give them something to remember us by." The first signs of the alien fleet were now visible to the naked eye. Hundreds of points of light, brighter than any star, arranging themselves in attack formation above Earth's atmosphere. Their ships were beautiful in a terrible way, each one a masterpiece of engineering designed to harness the power of artificial stars. "All stations, prepare for planetary defense." General Chen's voice rang out across all channels. "This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." Maya took her place at the main control panel, hands hovering over the interface. Everything she'd ever worked for, everything humanity had accomplished in its long climb from the caves to the stars, came down to the next few minutes. The aliens' deadline expired. Their fleet began to move. The first attack came without warning, a burst of plasma energy that made the orbital sensors scream. Maya watched in horror as one of the European satellites vaporized instantly. But the attack revealed exactly what she'd suspected. The aliens were using compressed solar plasma as both shield and weapon. "Now," she shouted, her fingers dancing across the control panel. Initiating containment field resonance. Around the Earth, the hastily assembled network of satellites hummed to life. Maya's containment system, originally designed to harness plasma for clean energy, now reached out to touch the very stars the aliens had brought to their doorstep. The effect was immediate and spectacular. The nearest alien ships shuddered as their plasma containment fields encountered Maya's resonance pattern. Where their brute force compression met her more elegant solution, chaos erupted. Streams of solar plasma began to leak from their drive systems, creating auroras of impossible colors across Earth's upper atmosphere. "It's working," Dr. Tanaka exclaimed, monitoring the feedback readings. "Their containment systems are destabilizing." But the aliens weren't defenseless. A second wave of ships moved forward, adjusting their field frequencies, trying to compensate. Maya had expected this. It was exactly what she would have done. She keyed in the command sequence she prepared for this moment. "Initiating Phase 2, she announced. Adaptive resonance patterns engaging. The containment satellites began cycling through frequencies, preventing the aliens from stabilizing their fields. It was like a deadly dance, played out with forces powerful enough to birth stars. More alien ships began to retreat, their plasma drives flickering dangerously. Then something unexpected happened. One of the larger alien vessels, its hull glowing with barely contained energy, broke formation. Instead of retreating, it surged forward, directly toward the orbital command center. Maya's heart stopped as she realized what they were seeing. A suicide run. "All hands, brace for impact." General Chen's voice cut through the chaos. But Maya was already moving, her mind racing ahead of the crisis, rerouting all power to forward containment fields. She called out, overriding safety protocols. "Yuki, help me establish a resonance barrier." The alien ship was less than a kilometer away when Maya's enhanced containment field snapped into place. The vessel's own plasma drive interacted with her field, creating a feedback loop that she couldn't have predicted. Instead of exploding, the alien ship froze in space, caught in a perfect balance between its own power and her containment system. For a moment, everything stopped. The alien fleet halted its attack. The command center fell silent. Through the reinforced windows, Maya could see the trapped alien vessel, its hull rippling with contained energy like a miniature sun. Then, a new transmission cut through all channels. The aliens were broadcasting again, but this time their message was different. "We underestimated you. This technology. It should not be possible for your level of civilization." Maya stepped forward, her voice steadied despite her racing heart. "We're full of surprises. Should we continue this demonstration, or would you prefer to talk?" There was a long pause. Maya could almost feel the aliens' confusion, their carefully laid plans crumbling in the face of humanity's unexpected defense. When they responded, there was something new in their tone, something that might have been respect. "We will talk. But know this, you have done more than save your world today. You have changed the course of galactic history." As cheers erupted throughout the command center, Maya sagged against her control panel, exhausted but triumphant. Through the window, Earth's atmosphere still shimmered with the aftereffects of the battle, a reminder of how close they'd come to extinction. But they had survived. More than that, they had proved themselves worthy of the stars. General Chen placed a hand on her shoulder. "Well done, Dr. Rodriguez, but something tells me our work is just beginning." Maya nodded, her mind already racing with new possibilities. The aliens' technology, combined with her containment system, could revolutionize human civilization. But first, they needed to understand why these beings had really come to Earth, and what their talk of galactic history truly meant. The next chapter of human history was about to begin, and Maya had a feeling it would be more incredible than anyone could have imagined. First Contact's shadow. The alien diplomatic vessel looked like a teardrop made of liquid starlight. Maya watched it dock with the International Space Station, her containment field sensors monitoring every fluctuation in its plasma drive. 2 weeks had passed since the failed invasion, and humanity was about to meet its first extraterrestrial representatives face to face. Nervous? Dr. Tanaka asked, adjusting his formal uniform. Like Maya, he'd been chosen as part of Earth's scientific delegation. Curious, she replied, though her hands were shaking slightly. Their plasma technology is centuries ahead of ours, but they couldn't counter our containment fields. Something doesn't add up. The airlock cycled, and Maya got her first look at the beings who had nearly ended human civilization. They were tall, with iridescent skin that seemed to shift colors in the station's lighting. Their 4 eyes moved independently, taking in everything at once. But what struck Maya most was their obvious tension. These weren't conquering warriors coming to negotiate terms. They were afraid. The lead alien stepped forward, its translator device humming. I am first speaker Zareth of the Galactic Concordat. We come seeking understanding and warning. General Chen, representing Earth's military interests, raised an eyebrow. Warning? About what? About what follows in our wake. Zareth's inner eyes pulsed with anxiety. We are not conquerors, Dr. Rodriguez. We are refugees. The revelation hit Maya like a physical blow. She looked at the alien ship again, seeing it with new eyes. Not a weapon of war, but a vessel of desperate flight. What are you running from? The story Zareth told over the next hour rewrote everything humanity thought they knew about the galaxy. The Concordat was once a thriving alliance of species, spanning thousands of worlds. They had mastered plasma drive technology, used artificial stars to power their civilization. But then they encountered something ancient and terrible. The Devourers. They are a machine intelligence, Zareth explained, projecting images of vast, geometric shapes that seem to absorb light itself. They consume plasma energy directly, turning stars into fuel for their expansion. When we found them, they had already stripped 3 galaxies bare. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. And they're coming here. They follow the energy trails of our drives. We thought to save your species by conquering you first, to force you to abandon your solar research before it drew their attention. Zareth's skin rippled with colors Maya suspected indicated shame. We did not expect you to have developed technology that could rival ours, technology that works differently. Dr. Tanaka leaned forward. Our containment fields don't try to compress plasma by force. They work with its natural properties, create harmony instead of control. Exactly. Zareth's translator couldn't quite convey the emotion in their voice. In all our centuries of development, we never considered such an approach. The Devourers can detect and drain our plasma systems, but yours might be invisible to them. General Chen's expression hardened. How long do we have? Months, perhaps. They follow our wake through space, consuming everything in their path. But Dr. Rodriguez's containment technology offers the first hope we've had in generations. If we can adapt our ships to use your methods. Maya was already pulling up simulations on her tablet. We'll need to completely redesign your drive systems. The power output will be lower, but we'll survive, Zareth finished. More than that, we might finally have a way to fight back. The next few weeks transformed the International Space Station into an unprecedented collaborative laboratory. Maya worked alongside alien scientists, combining their centuries of plasma engineering experience with her revolutionary containment principles. Every day brought new breakthroughs, new possibilities. But they also brought troubling news. Long-range sensors detected growing disturbances at the edge of the solar system. The first signs of the Devourers' approach. The race to prepare Earth's defenses took on a new urgency. The containment fields are stable, Maya reported, watching as the first retrofitted alien ship powered up with her technology. Power output is at 60% of your original systems, but the signature is completely different. Zareth's skin glowed with approval. If this works, we'll need to upgrade our entire fleet. But there's something else you should know, Dr. Rodriguez. Something we discovered when analyzing your containment fields. The alien scientist manipulated a holographic display, showing the quantum structure of Maya's plasma containment system. Your technology doesn't just contain plasma differently. It creates unique resonance patterns we've never seen before, patterns that might be capable of more than just hiding from the devourers. Maya studied the display, her eyes widening as she understood the implications. You think we could use these resonance patterns as a weapon? Not just a weapon, a key. Zareth's 4 eyes focused on her intently. The devourers are energy beings housed in mechanical shells. With your containment technology, we might be able to do more than hide from them. We might be able to trap them. The possibilities raced through Maya's mind. Her containment fields, scaled up and modified, could create a prison for beings that devoured stars. But the power requirements would be enormous. They would need something bigger than any reactor ever built. She looked out the station's window at the sun blazing in the distance. I have an idea, but you're not going to like it. Starfire rising. They appeared like holes torn in the fabric of space, vast geometric shapes that seemed to absorb both light and hope. The devourers' vessels, if they could be called that, dwarfed even the largest Concordat ships. Maya watched through the Solar Defense Station's quantum imaging systems as the first wave approached, their void drives sending ripples through spacetime. Multiple contacts, Dr. Tanaka reported, his voice steady despite the tension. Counting 37 capital-class vessels in the vanguard. Energy readings are, sir, they're off the scale. Maya nodded, her fingers dancing across the control interface. Begin Stage 1. Transfer power from the Concordat fleet to the containment array. Around the solar system, the surviving alien ships began channeling their energy into Maya's creation. The containment satellites hummed to life, their fields reaching out to touch the sun's corona. Streams of solar plasma began flowing through the network, guided by the principles Maya had discovered in her small lab on Earth. The devourers noticed immediately. Their formation shifted, geometric shapes realigning into attack patterns that hurt the human mind to observe. The void drives pulsed, reaching out to drain energy from the nearest stars. But Maya was ready for them. Initiating quantum resonance pattern alpha. All stations, prepare for gravitational distortion. The containment array flared with impossible colors as it matched the devourer's quantum frequency. The solar plasma flowing through the network took on new properties, creating ripples in spacetime that mirrored the enemy's void technology. The first devourer vessel to hit the containment field shuddered violently. Its perfect geometric form wavered as Maya's quantum resonance pattern interfered with its void drive. For a moment, it seemed to be caught between dimensions, neither fully here nor gone. Then it exploded. The blast sent quantum shockwaves through the system, but Maya's containment field held. More importantly, the other devourer vessels reacted. They pulled back, their formation showing the first signs of uncertainty humanity had ever witnessed from them. It works. Zareth's skin pulsed with fierce joy. By the eternal stars, it actually works. But Maya wasn't celebrating yet. Her sensors showed the remaining devourers adapting, changing their quantum frequencies to avoid the resonance trap. And behind them, more vessels were emerging from the void between stars. They're learning, she warned. Prepare for Stage 2. We need tow. Her words cut off as a new type of devourer vessel emerged, a massive pyramidal structure that seemed to bend space around itself. Its void drive pulsed with a different rhythm. And suddenly, Maya's carefully tuned containment fields began to fluctuate. Primary containment grid is destabilizing, Dr. Tanaka shouted. They're using some kind of counter-resonance. Maya's mind raced. The devourers weren't just powerful, they were intelligent, capable of analyzing and countering new threats. But their counter-resonance meant something else, something they might not have considered. They're not just fighting our technology, she realized aloud. They're fighting the sun itself. And we can use that. Zarith, have your ships fall back to the secondary defense line. Dr. Tanaka, prepare to redirect all power to Section 7 of the array. Section 7 isn't finished, Chen protested. The containment fields there aren't stable. Exactly. Maya's fingers flew across her console, making rapid adjustments. Their counter-resonance will magnify the instability. When that section fails, the resulting quantum cascade will. She never finished her explanation. The massive Devourer vessel fired a beam of pure darkness at the containment array, trying to drain its power. But instead of fighting the attack, Maya used it. She channeled the sun's plasma through the unstable section, letting the enemy's own counter-resonance amplify the chaos. The result was beyond anything they had simulated. Section 7 of the array didn't just fail. It created a quantum singularity, a tear in space-time fueled by solar plasma and the Devourer's own void technology. The pyramidal vessel, caught in its own attack, was pulled into the rift. But Maya hadn't predicted what happened next. The singularity began to grow, threatening to consume not just the Devourers, but the entire containment array. The solar defense station's alarms screamed as gravity waves battered the structure. We need to shut it down, Chen ordered. We can't, Maya replied, her voice tight with concentration. But we can control it. Zarith, have your ships form a resonance barrier. Dr. Tanaka, help me reconfigure the remaining sections of the array. We're going to turn this into a weapon. As the battle raged around them, Maya and her team worked frantically to contain and direct the quantum singularity they had created. The Devourers, for the first time in their ancient history, found themselves facing an enemy who could match their mastery of space-time itself. But victory, Maya realized, would come at a terrible cost. Echoes of the void. The transformed solar defense station hummed with new forms of life and energy. 2 weeks had passed since the first battle, and Maya still found herself amazed by how the structure had evolved. Walls flowed like liquid crystal, responding to thought as much as touch. Quantum computers processed information in ways that merged digital precision with organic intuition. But it was the knowledge shared by the transformed Devourers that truly changed everything. Through the station's enhanced systems, they shared memories of their original civilization, a species that had once danced among the stars, using solar energy to create rather than consume. They called themselves the Helios. Maya explained to the assembled human and Concordat leaders. Before they discovered void technology, they were masters of stellar engineering. They built worlds powered by artificial suns, created gardens of light between the stars. Until the void corrupted them, Zarith added, their skin rippling with sympathetic patterns. The power to consume entire stars. It changed them, made them forget what they once were. Dr. Tanaka manipulated the quantum display, showing the approaching fleet of unconverted Devourers. And these ones still embrace that corruption. Long-range sensors show them gathering reinforcements. We estimate over 300 vessels now, including 5 of their world-killer-class ships. Maya nodded grimly. The transformed Helios had warned them about the world killers, massive constructs capable of consuming an entire solar system in minutes. But we have advantages they don't expect. The transformed station isn't just a defensive platform anymore. It's a template for something new. She brought up her latest project, designs for a hybrid vessel that combined human containment field principles, Concordat plasma drives, and Helios quantum engineering. We can't match them for raw power, but we can fight smarter. Every ship we convert weakens their fleet and strengthens ours. General Chen studied the designs with intense interest. How quickly can we build them? We don't have to build them entirely, Maya replied with a slight smile. The station can grow them. Over the next few days, Maya watched in amazement as her designs took shape in the quantum forges. The transformed station extended crystalline tendrils into space, using solar plasma and quantum energy to literally grow new vessels. Each ship was a living thing, crewed by mixed teams of humans, Concordat aliens, and transformed Helios working in perfect harmony. But time was running out. The Void Fleet was approaching faster than expected, their world killers leaving trails of dead stars in their wake. Maya could feel their hunger even at this distance, an all-consuming need that had long ago replaced any sense of their original purpose. Energy spike. Dr. Tanaka's voice cut through her thoughts. They're launching their first attack. The Void Fleet had arrived sooner than their projections suggested, their massive ships darkening the space between stars. Their first assault was aimed not at Earth, but at the sun itself, trying to drain its power before Maya's forces could use it. "Launch the defense fleet," she ordered. "All ships, implement Protocol Helios." The newly grown vessels moved with organic grace, their hybrid technology allowing them to flow through space in ways the Void ships couldn't match. As the first wave of Devourers attacked, Maya's fleet responded with a technique that combined all three civilizations' knowledge: quantum-guided solar flares, contained and directed by her fields, powered by Concordat plasma tech. The effect was devastating. 3 Void ships were caught in the artificial solar storm, their energy-draining technology overwhelmed by the precise application of stellar power. But the world killers were another matter entirely. They shrugged off the attack, their ancient void drives creating zones of pure darkness around them.